Hey there guys, and welcome back. So it is time to do another case. I know that's mostly what I've been doing recently, but I've got a lot of stuff that needs organized. So this is, well, without the bottom, I took the bottom off, but this is the drill bit case that we made last time. I had explained that this originally was a lot more complicated. I actually did find the base, however, it is missing the bottom part that had the waves in it. So this is what it was originally like. And the reason I wanted to show you this is because I kept on saying, well, it was a lot bigger, and that's why I stopped developing this one originally. Again, this was like a year plus ago, maybe 2 years ago was when I was originally developing this. Just for comparison, so you can see. And let's see, what's the best way to show you this? I guess right against the ground, you can kind of see the difference in diameter if we just compare it. So I've got this lined up right here on the bottom, so you can see how much larger of a diameter that is. And again, it just got so expensive to keep on printing these test pieces to try to figure it out. Plus the mechanism was not working terribly well, but that was the backstory lore that I went over last time when we designed this guy. And I, as I stated at the time, just wanted something to get it done, get it over with. And if I felt like redesigning it to be more appropriate, I'd do that at a later date. Well, I picked myself up a set of Reamers, and now I need another case. Idea is to go similar to this. One thing to notice is, and again, I took bits out and whatnot just so that I can demonstrate here. This is together and working, for the record, but I took it apart because I wanted to be able to show you stuff. Only reason I'm bringing this up is because I actually haven't done the video on this. I haven't put together the final production video on this whole entire setup yet. So that's why I wanted to update you guys and let you know that it is working. Anyway, point being, there's a lot fewer bits in this, right? So we got the center holes right there for the other set, and then you got all these around the edge. There are a lot fewer, which means that the original design is a little bit more viable. It's easier to do, which is why I'm bringing it up. The other thing is that also another video I haven't done yet. This is my cutoff wheels holders for my Dremel. We designed this on stream. And it works, but one thing that kind of bothers me is that you kind of got to dump it over and have it come out into your hand. So I haven't printed it. I haven't printed the whole thing, I should say, but I did decide to do a redesign, or not a redesign, but an alternative design, I should say, that uses these little lift discs. And this is feeding into what we're getting into here. And this is just a little test piece to prove that it works, just to double check that everything is working correctly. Because I did this, that also made me, that's the other reason that made me want to come back to this guy and try this guy one more time, because I put these lift discs in here and I was like, you know what, this is easy enough. I've done a lot more designs since back here when I was doing this one, so I'd like to try it again. Drill bit case ended up like this because I just didn't want to fail at it. I wanted to get all my drill bits organized and in proper order, so I didn't want to fart around with a special case. We're now onto the Reamers. The drill bits are already put away. The Reamers, I can spend a little bit of time here getting this working. Now, the next thing to mention, tying all this back in together, this wave thing, what this ring, or these rings I should say, because I have two different designs of rings here. What these rings really got me to think about is that on the original design, there was a little wave that went around this circle and pushed the drill bits up as it got to them, right? Well, we don't actually need to do that. We don't need it to spin A in the same plane and B in the same motion. We can do it individually, is what I was also thinking about. So, what I'm thinking here is having a ring like this as opposed to this, which is a two-part piece, which makes it bigger and bulkier, held together with a flange. What do I want to call that? I'm calling it a flange right now, but anyway, The design on this is a bit complicated, is where I was going with this. This will be a lot simpler, and the intent is to spin it into place and then lift up. That's option number one. That's the easiest option. Or B, as opposed to spinning it and having it automatically lift up. Difference being there. Or option number two, which I would like to investigate, is having it spin and lift up at the same time. But instead of going in the same plane like this is, having it raise around like this, which is why I have these kind of sitting, or I had these kind of sitting top aligned. So they'd all be like this. And as you can see, we've got this bit of a slope here. It's not perfect. Obviously, the camera angle is not great to show you this, but you can kind of tell by the fact that the ones in the middle are sticking out and you can see them easier, even with the bad camera angle, than the ones at the end. So it's not a perfect curve, but it's good enough, I think. I think it's good enough. So we can have the ring, the tabs on the ring, travel around in a circle, which makes it interesting. You know, it makes it an interesting design, but it will go up in an arc, and because it's coming from the bottom, because it's coming underneath, that should make it easier for it to push the what do you call them, push these things up, the reamers, push them up, because again, one of the problems with the wave version on this, and the reason why I had to put these little rings in here, these little washers in here, is that for the size of the wave, let me just draw this out really quick. We could look at it in CAD. Obviously, I still have the design in CAD. But because of how small this wave has to be right here, as it circles around the disc, that makes it very hard when it gets to a drill bit to go up this slope. Whereas with the reamers, if they're like this and just a tab, you know, again, it's just a tab. If it is coming up from, let's just draw out these reamers really quick. So this is what we'd have just rolled up into a cylinder, right? If it's coming up from the bottom, then it's not hitting this edge right here, right? It's not hitting these edges. It's hitting the bottom. So that should get past this problem where the edge right here has to climb up the hill, which was one of the major problems and why I put the washer in there, because what the washer did is, and here's this. The washer evened out the curve. So basically, as this wave got into position, the washer would start raising up ahead of time, and the washer would be pushing up at all points here as opposed to just the corner. So that is all the considerations. That's all the explanations on how we got here to this design and how it's going to change. And now, whoops, come on, get back into the slot. Now, the biggest question is, will I be able to do a full curve like this around the cylinder? I did, during my break today, I did a quick test design, and my initial idea didn't necessarily work. The problem is that we got to curve up and around, and you can't actually project that. At least Fusion's not letting me project it from out here. So originally, when I tried it at work, my first idea was to have a cylinder, okay, and generally speaking, if you have text or something like that, you can, I normally try not to mix the marker colors. That's what happened just there. But anyway, when you extrude that, it will extrude back to the face just fine, and it will wrap around the face. Generally speaking, that works. My problem is that that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm trying to create a path here, and then I'm trying to extrude a path through the object, and Fusion did not particularly like that. Now, again, I actually have two more, because I did a quick search and I saw one option, which is using sheet metal, because sheet metal actually, the sheet metal feature in Fusion will let you unwrap the sheet metal, in which case I can use this 2D sketch like I have here onto an unwrapped version of the cylinder and then rewrap the cylinder. So that's option number one for trying to make this version work. Option number two was, I was also considering I'm just going to grab another color really quick. And I'm going to redraw over here. I was also considering having my cylinder and then setting up points, the curve point, the top and the bottom curve points. This is what I was thinking. So that gives me an axis, which is why I wanted a different color. So this gives me an axis through these 2 points. And then at that point, I can create, let's use purple. At that point, I can create a plane through those 2 axes. Okay. So that gives me a plane, and then on that plane, I can draw a, I wanted red. I meant to grab red. I can draw a circle. And then that circle, or an arc, I could draw an arc as well. That circle / arc would then intersect on this plane at the angle I need, which is right here, right? So that is option number 2. Again, the fallback option, just so that we have this documented, the fallback option is to have my cylinder and then just to have a slot all the way around. So pretend like this wraps all the way around. Again, I'm trying to save my markers so that they don't get all mixed up. And at each of the reamers, at each of those positions, I just make a slot up. Again, wrapping all the way around. So the ring rotates into position and then comes straight up. Rotates into position, comes straight up to knock up the one reamer that it's in front of. And then bring it down to the bottom ring, spin it, lift it back up to the next part, etc., etc., etc. That is the easiest, quickest, fastest, most direct route to get this done. However, I would like to have it a little bit more fancy for aesthetic purposes. So we are going to attempt to get the curved version first. And if we don't get the curved version, again, should take all 10 seconds to whip up the other version. Probably a couple considerations even with that version that I will come across that I'm not thinking about right now, but that is everything. That is everything we need to go over, and now we can start designing. So let us hop into Fusion. There we are. And I did not actually, so I just kind of assumed that these reamers were the exact size that they reamed. Yeah, so this 12mm reamer that I have in my hands right now is basically 12mm. It looks like the shank might be like 11.97 is what I keep on getting. But one of those things, so long as I make the whole 12mm, no problem. So yeah, the only other thing when it comes up will be the depth. The depth of each hole. Oh, the last thing, actually, that I meant to mention, and we'll bring this back to the camera really quick. The last thing is just this guy right here and possibly this guy. So, back to, I need to have these guys not fall through the hole that will be used to push them up, right? This thing, I mean, regardless of whether or not it's going on a slant or coming across and then going up, in either situation, because these guys are so small, they're going to want to just fall straight through, right? Which is a little bit of a problem. So, may have to figure something out with that. 3mm is, this guy should be 3mm at any rate, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 3mm is our smallest one. Actually, that's interesting. So the 3mm shank, yeah, that's 3mm on the Reamer. The shank is actually over 3mm, so I will have to double check the sizes here as we go then in that case. I just, again, my assumption was, and it held true with the 12mm, is that the shank would be at least the size of the Reamers, if not a little bit smaller. But having just measured the 3mm one, that will not be accurate, it looks like. That assumption will not be accurate. So, anyway, back to Fusion. Let us get this show on the road. So, new component, case. What I'm doing for the lid, I'm not 100% sure. We'll burn that bridge when we get there. It's one of those things. It doesn't necessarily matter to me. Obviously, in the last several designs, I've done screw-on lids. Screw-on lids are just plain easier, and they hold really nice and solid. So I may go with another screw-on lid, even if that is getting a little bit boring at this point, just because I don't want the reamers falling out to begin with. So, actually, I guess what I should do. Nah, I guess I'll do it on this. So, one of those things. Back to getting these guys into position. Gotta figure that one out really quick. I have 9 reamers, 10 reamers, 10 reamers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'll double check my sizes as I go. So I know that 12 millimeters will fit the first one. This other, the next one should be 11, and the shank is, yeah, again, slightly under 11, so we'll just call it 11. I should probably shrink everything at this point, but because it's obviously too large, just based on. Toss this guy in really quick so we can start getting these guys in position. That's that. The 10 millimeter shank is under 10. So it's probably just the smallest ones that are a little bit large is what it's looking like so far, because everything else is looking all right. All right, 9 millimeters is all right. Eh, 8 millimeters. 8 millimeters is just a hair over. Okay. Whoops, that is not intended. 9 millimeters. So long as they... well, actually, alright. So I was going to say I can just add my print offset and it'll probably be fine for all these guys. Was what I was about to say. However, the 3 millimeters was more than the print offsets I normally use. So, may have to reevaluate that statement. 7 is more or less spot on. Oh my goodness. 7. I don't think I have a 6. I think I have a... oh no, I do have a 6. Oh no, that makes sense. Yeah. 6, 5, 4, 3. That's right. Alright, so 6 is under, so that's good. 6. 5. 4. Alright, maybe it's just the 3. Maybe the 3 millimeters is the only one that's whoops, that is not 3, that was 4. It's the only one that's a little big. Perhaps, it looks like. Alright, yeah, I'm consistently getting about 3.1, 3.2. Or 3.1, 3.12 is what I meant to say. So we are just going to call this 3.15 instead. Just to be... actually, I should just call it 3.1 because I'm going to add my print offsets. So, that is that. Now, with as small as this is, we probably should consider... let's see. Should I consider? One of these deals where, as you will recall if you watch the drill bit case, there's the let me just kind of tangent all these guys up version, and then there's the let's just make a circle and then do a little bit of math to figure out how big the circle needs to be. Those are our two options here. The tangent version has the benefit. Actually, you know what? We will be going with the circle. I was going to say the tangent has the benefit where we can double stack these guys, but we actually don't want to do that in this particular design. So I am going to go ahead and let's see, circle pattern. Circle pattern. Circle pattern. There it is. Circle pattern that around that. And we've got 10 of these guys. And a quick sanity check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, cool. You may be asking, was it really necessary to sanity check that? Yes, it was. Okay. So. Next question is, do I undo that? And instead of doing the circle pattern, because obviously, as we get over here, we have all this wasted space. While it does make it look neater, it will allow us to have a smaller circle if we don't space them out evenly. If we only space them out according to what they need. The other nice thing about that is that it will be easier to see from the outside of the cylinder where the smaller ones are and where the bigger ones are. So it's easier to count, right? And guess. I mean, that's actually one thing I didn't do on the big case. I put or not on the big case. I'm calling it the big case because it has a lot more drill bits in it. And these are obviously Reamers, so obviously that was a bad statement. But I, in theory, tried to put the numbers in here to read them. Oh, that's right. Actually, it's on the bottom. I was going to say, I could have swore I did the numbers here, but I didn't see them. It's actually on the bottom cover. Oh, there it is. But, however, they are hard to see, at least in black, which is how I painted this, or how I printed this. I did black, red, black, because that's my color scheme that I normally do for tools, as opposed to jigs, which is normally green and black. So for tools, tool holders, I normally do red and black, and the black, it's a bit hard to read, plus the numbers are really small, which makes it a bit difficult. Where I'm going with this is that since we have only a single row of reamers going around the circle, we actually can write the numbers straight on the outside, which will be a lot easier to see since they can be bigger. So that was the point of that. Back to Fusion. All right. So I think I'm going to agree with myself. Delete that. That was the circle pattern I just deleted. And we will go ahead and toss our what do you call it? Our wall thicknesses. Normally I do 3mm in case you are unfamiliar with the channel. I normally put 3mm walls in unless I have a reason to do smaller. This is not one of those situations. So tangent that. Tangent, whoops, not that one. Tangent that one. And yeah, all right. So anyway, back to the previous discussion. Since I'm keeping all these in line, we can just go ahead and move them all out to the outer edge. Oh, okay. So when I got rid of that circular pattern, the circular pattern did not actually keep the quinkydinks. So we are going to have to come back here and re-add them in manually, which is unfortunate. So these can go on the outer circle at this point because I decided to change the way I was doing this. There we go. Do that, then quinkydink that to that. Toss that guy on there. 3 there, and there. And again, one of these days I'll remember that the what do you call it? The gestures is available. Gestures menu. There's that. And yeah, that one. Cool. We have an even number, which means that I only have to do every other. That. And then gesture to repeat line. I will get this down eventually. All right, cool. And then we can quink dink. And then we can tangent. Yeah, I do need to. Oh, whoops. Nope, not do that. 3. And here we go. And all the way back, and we'll see if it explodes. Alright, cool. Did not explode. Nothing went into a weird position. And it appears they are still in order, so that is good. Good. And we know that 12 is going to be the biggest, which means that I can just go tangent to 12 for the outside, or to the 12 circle, I should say, the 12 wall. And that will guarantee a 3mm wall all the way around. So, a minimum of 3mm, I should say, wall all the way around. For the slope, for the rotation slope, assuming it's on an angle, and even if it's not an angle, I do want to have it running along the center line of all of them at all points, just for the record. So even though we look here, let's say, I mean, this would be a better example, but it's too close to 12. Even though this distance right here from this center point to this wall looks a lot further because we don't have the extra lines in here, it actually is the same distance from center point here to here, because this is center point here and this is tangent out there. So, you know what? I'm just going to make a point. Just going to make the point. Let us, what's the best way to do this? I will do this. There's that. And actually, let's do this. This is probably a point I don't need to actually make, but actually, you know what? That was the wrong line to draw to begin with, because this really should just go like that. So anyway, 8.9999999. Just one of those rounding things from the program. It's the same exact number. So. We are now good to continue onwards. This is going to be solid here for the case to start out with. We will leave the 3mm on the bottom, so that's the bottom wall. That will be solid, I'm pretty sure. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be solid. If I come up with a reason as we're designing, then I will change my mind. Otherwise, our maximum height here, which is what we will be going off of, is as soon as my hands start cooperating. So there we go. I don't know. I had a bit of a clumsy moment right there. So 145 3/4 millimeters. We're just going to call that 146 plus 146. And actually, I don't think I'm going to add... Whoops, I did not mean to delete that. I don't think I'm going to add a offset to the top. I'm pretty sure I'm going to just leave that as is. So we hit OK. That is the case. We now extrude each of these circles. So I said 146 for the number 12. Oh, actually, you know what? Minus 146. I just realized that we should add an offset for the disc. So I'm going to go ahead and call it 5 right now, and if we need to change that, we can. I should also give it a, a parameter. So disc thickness is 5, and I will also, for the record, start recording these. 12mm Reamer. I guess I'll do Reamer 12mm instead. And that was 146. Next one, 11 is 135 and a half rounded. Reamer 11mm, 135.5. Call that 127. Boom, 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 boom. $121.5. We were on 10, right? No, we were on 9. $113. $104. $93. $84. Last two. 74.5. And that rounds up to 62. Okay, so let's come back to here. Place that with Reamer 12 and that with disc thickness. This would be minus Reamer 12, and we just handle the rest. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. Minus Reamer 11. Do. Were we on 9? Double check that one. Nope, we were on 8. do wrong here? 6, 5, 4, 3. Cut. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I guess I'm just grabbing the wrong profile. All right, there we go. Next question. We have a bit of dead space in the center here. Do we want to use that for anything? Let's see. It is 16 millimeters. We have 16 millimeters of dead space to put something in if we want to. We also have that 146. Okay, so a marker would fit in there if we want to store a Sharpie in there. Sharpie is 12 millimeters. If I include the clip, it's actually a little above 16 millimeters, although it might be able to squeeze in. So we can consider storing a Sharpie in there if we would like. We also could open it up a little bit for the extra little bit for the Sharpie, just because this 3 millimeters isn't an absolute necessity. It's just, again, my soft minimum, what I would prefer to have. I can always have it be a little bit smaller. Reamer 12 millimeter. Third thing, actually, it just occurred to me. Actually, no, I take that back. I was gonna say we might need a little bit of space above the disc, but I actually don't think that's necessary. So I was going to add another wall thickness in here, in between the bottom, or in between the disc and the. So if I reorder this. Let me reorder this really quick. So in theory, this is how it stacks up, right? 3 millimeters disc and then reamer size. So I was considering adding in another 3 millimeters right here, but I actually don't think that's necessary at this point. And we managed to break it. Excellent. Not sure what that was about, but okay. So at this point, my plane idea is not going to work. I recognize now. The unwrap for the sheet metal, I'd have to back up. We more or less just wasted a whole bunch of time if that was the case. So options are to either, the reason I should say, to clarify, the reason why the plane thing is not going to make is because as I drew it and as I was visualizing it, camera, I have a high part over here and a low part over here. And as you can see in the CAD, that's not how this works. And also, that's not how it can work. Even if I moved all the large ones over to this side and all the small ones onto this side and kind of split the difference, even then it wouldn't really work. It'd get close to working, but I don't think it would really work. So, boom, 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 boom. I'm kind of okay. Am I kind of okay? I was going to say I'm kind of okay with giving up on it at this point. because those were my two only ideas I had. I was toying with the idea of trying to do a 3D sketch to take it into consideration. Seems, I mean, I've got issues, okay? It's one of those things. Basically, if I come into 3D sketch, I need to project out the bottoms of all these guys. It was my third idea that I didn't really want to. Yeah, let me turn that sketch off so I don't accidentally grab it. Actually, hold on. Because I had the sketch active to begin with, I want to make sure I'm not accidentally grabbing a profile here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, what did I just grab? I grabbed something. Okay, Fusion may just be bugging out right here and not showing these small profiles. For whatever reason. That's alright. There we go. Now it popped up. Alright, that is 10. I have 10 Reamers. So, I have projected that. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Dang it. It's not going to project in 3D. So, let's see. Let us grab a point. Can I use this face? Is that up? That is not up. Okay. So I need that in a 3D space. I'm trying to, yeah. I don't particularly want to have to toss in a plane for each and every single one of these. I was hoping to be able to 3D sketch to grab, to put a point on this plane right here. Yeah, like that. But, oh, okay, that actually, that worked that time. Okay, I'll take it. Sure. Okay, so enter. Okay, close enough. Oh, it drew a bunch of points in here. All right, anyway, I got my projection where I needed it. Point being, okay. We can attempt to make this work. Basically, my idea here, the idea that I didn't really think was going to work, but we're going to attempt because I would, again, I want to do this right, but I don't want to spend the next 5, next 5 streams, with each stream being 3 hours apiece, trying to make it work is my biggest issue. Is that guy on the actual plane? It looks like it is. So that is that guy right there. And now I need... Actually, that doesn't look like... Are these going higher? It looks like they are. Okay. That's funny because that doesn't look like the right arc to me. Right? Yeah. It looks like... So I know these two aren't right, because these definitely aren't the same height. Let me really quick put these back into order so I can visually confirm this. I mean, we're getting there. It's just not... Fusion did not do what I expected it to do. I won't necessarily blame Fusion for that one because I don't normally do 3D sketches. Because I tried to do as little as possible in the sketch because the sketch needs to be constrained in order to properly update. So, alright, I got a visual representation on what I need to be or what I should be expecting. So, if those guys are right, this guy actually doesn't look right for whatever reason. I guess I will select all these guys and delete these guys. What do you mean downstream Delete face. No. No. I didn't want to delete face. What are you doing? Oh, I'm not in a sketch right now. That's funny. Huh. I fell out of the sketch. Alright, let's see. We got the first 3. And I can delete that. First 3, so we're on to that guy. Okay. So if I hit enter between each of these, will that work? That's funny. That doesn't look right. How did I get the projection on the first one to begin with? Because I was in here, I clicked that, right? Okay, gotcha. So if I click the center of it, I'll get the projection. That helps. Alright. And chances are that's actually 2 points right there. Is my bet. Yes, it is. So we can come back and just delete those guys. And I've got a random point right here because of course I do. And another point on the floor. Nice. So I can't project it directly. I need to somehow interact with the sketch in 3D mode. It looks like. Yeah. So projecting won't let me do that. So is there something else that's less annoying that I can use? If I start with a spline line, then cancel out. Huh. Now I can't select the face, though. Alright, I guess we're going to keep with points here. Okay, or not. Now I'm not selecting faces. There we go. I guess I'll just come back around and re-delete the extra points when we get done. Huh. Why does it let me grab sometimes but not others? What if I hold down click? Yeah, okay, that's not. Huh, is this axis really in the way? There it goes. But I need to grab the actual center of that face, though, in order to project it. All right, cool. Sketch is awkward. And I can't hold down control to maintain focus. So in other modes, like for example, when you're doing joints, you can hold down control to keep focus on the face that you're highlighting. You can't do that in 3D Sketch, it doesn't look like. Can't actually, can I? Okay, I can see the bottom. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. So, just delete these extra points. Deleted and deleted. Alright, so that is the bottom. That is the bottoms. Oh, you know what? Maybe I extruded one of these wrong. So that guy. No, wait. Which guy? Let's see. That's that. That's that. Let's come back here and double check our extrusions really quick. 12, 11, 10, and then this guy, the 9 guy. Whoops, and 9 guy. All right, cool. 9 guy is wrong. 9. 8. All right. Everything else, actually, no, I take that back. Everything else does not look right. 9. That guy should be 8. Okay, we're just off by 1, it looks like. Which is weird because I thought I ended this with 3mm, which is why I didn't think anything was wrong to begin with. But evidently, I was incorrect. What is going on here? Yes, delete that. Six, 5. Huh. That is weird. Huh. So this guy's a join, isn't he? Yeah, he's a join. And if I delete him, though, it gives me errors. Why? Why does it give me errors? The join was actually not doing anything, right? 5. 6, 5, 5. But where you at? 3, 4, 3, 5. So I had 3 5s in here. Is that what I'm seeing here? 5, 6, 5. This is 5, right? Yes. 4, 3. And then this is the center one. Okay. All my dots are still there. Good. Okay. Let's see if we can't make this work now. So, I'm going to construction line all those guys. And then we are going to attempt to make this work. Let me turn the body off really quick. So I would like there to there to there to there. That is an extra dot right there. Okay, and enter. Oh my goodness, why'd you loop? Alright, I'm gonna retry that just to see if we can avoid the loop. Anyone keeping count? Make sure I click the right number of dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, cool. So let's click this instead of hitting enter. Huh, and it still closed the loop. Why did it close the loop? Huh. Can I trim this? Oh, whoops. Huh. Why is it closing the loop? It doesn't normally close the loop. Right? Am I going insane? I might be going insane. Let's turn off 3D Sketch. And if I take my fit to spline and hit enter, yeah, it leaves it as is. So why is it closing the loop on the 3D Sketch? That is not good behavior. It's still a spline line. It doesn't have... Oh. Alright, well, I am going to attempt to avoid complaining for the moment. And... yeah, see, actually, that is my problem, though. Because you see how it dips underneath this plane right here? It shouldn't be doing that, and it's only doing that because it's connected at the end. So that's why this is a problem. I wonder if I can come in here. It is a spline line. So can I come in here? Yes. And change this angle. So unfortunately it is goofing with this angle right here, but we might be able to twist it into place. Let's think really quick. Is there... let's do this right quick and see how this turns out. Just use a regular line. I can delete this. This is easy enough to recreate. Or hit Control Z. Either or, you know? Oh, turn 3D Sketch back on. That is not 12. That is 12. Okay. That's all of them, right? And done. And it did not complete. Alright, we will attempt to... attempt to do that. Okay, so initial intention here was to sweep through this. And I'm just trying to figure out how I was going to put my profile in here to do the sweeping. I guess what I will do is finish sketch, turn the body on, take this right here, or maybe I wanted to go like this. I think I wanted to go in this direction. So we're perpendicular to that guy. Project out that dot right there. Turn the body off. Turn that off. And then toss... actually, you know what? I also do want the outline of the body, because we need to draw the slot in. So, oh, turn 3D Sketch off. There we go. And now. So that was the center of the bottom, which means that I can go winky dink to that. And we know this is the 12mm one, so I will just do Reamer 12 divided by 2. That will get me to the outs. What? Reamer. Oh, terp. That's the length. So 12mm divided by 2. Okay, whoops. That was the overall length. And then over here, standing outside of the thing, we can use like 5 millimeters. We can have it sticking out 5 millimeters. And then this is the thickness. Thickness. Wow. Okay, so that is my profile. I am sweeping this along the path. So there's my profile. There's my path. And let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, not exactly smooth, which was kind of expected. Parallel. Nope, alright, never mind. Not parallel. The interesting thing is that actually, I guess parallel is what I wanted. My guess is distance 0. All right, let's double check what these are doing. All right, I guess we'll start with distance. Fusion, are you going to give me a prompt? Are you going to tell me what these things do per Fusion? No? Okay, not. You are not going to. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I don't like you either. Okay. Take a quick sip of water. Error I'm getting is that it will intersect itself. I can't really change the curvature of it. I mean, we can go back to the other line, but all right, cancel. Let's think about this. So basically, if I'm thinking about this correctly, and I think I am, what happens is, if I'm thinking about it correctly, is we start out with this, and then in order to follow this line, this profile has to pivot, at which point it's intersecting itself. I think is how that's working, why we're having a problem. So, let's see. Let's change. Well, because we're probably. I was gonna say let's change this, but we may run into that problem on any of these joints. Actually, you know what? Let's try that first. Let's try that first. Sweep that guy. Turn off chain select and only do this. Turn the body on. Okay. Now, the interesting thing here is so it's not keeping a constant radius from, let's do this really quick, from the center is my first concern. Which is weird. Alright, I'm gonna select the second one. Yeah, and now we've disappeared into, it's no longer cutting all the way through. And if I change this to perpendicular, That's a little bit better, but we're still losing it. So when I click on this next one, I mean, it's kind of there. Like, nope, there we go. Now it's completely gone. All right, so that doesn't look like that's going to work. That solution. Okay. Don't think this is going to work, but we're going to try it anyway because I am more or less out of ideas, and I don't think that the spline line is actually going to fix that problem. So I'm going to do this and try the pipe tool. Sorry, didn't mute. My bad. Alright, square. I'm just thinking that with the square here on the pipe tool, I might be able to 5. And is there a way to change the path to be top center? No, there's not. Yeah, there's no way to change the rail to be the top center. So I'd have to adjust that down. But my idea was, at this point, deselect. No, don't select that sketch. Darn it, Ufusion. At this point, I could come in here. Let's see. Let's get a good wall. And I could select the walls and extrude out like this to make it work. Was my kind of going guess right now, but don't, just based on this cut pattern, I don't think this is going to work to begin with. So all right, yeah. At this point, I have officially, well, yeah. So the problem with doing the sheet metal, I'm thinking, is I've got to do the shell for the sheet metal. I then have to join the shell with the body. And then I've got to extrude inwards with the sheet metal shell cut, with the cut in the sheet metal. Is that going to work, is the question. It seems like, honestly, it might work. So I guess I'll try that. We will go ahead and try that out. So let's delete everything after this. Okay, or not. Okay, so we're going to come into sheet metal, hit the flange button. Or not. Sketch. Bodies. Project. Okay, turn that body off, make that solid, toss in an offset here, we can call it 3mm. Then we got to put a cut in here, and I will make sure to position it in between two. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to put it over here just in case, between the biggest one and the smallest one. So, do that. And this, whoops, only has to be just enough to make it, you know, split. I mean, it's one of those things. It could be super tiny. Just needs to split this in half in order to actually do this. And one of those deals where I guess I will just toss this in to be safe. Give it a reference. I guess 1.5. Turn that back because I accidentally did that. And there we go. Oh, that and that. That's how it should be. There we go. Okay. Finish. Sheet metal. Flange. That guy. How did this work again? I actually don't remember. It's been a while. It has been a while since I've done this. Cancel. The other problem is that I've never actually done it like this, you know? I always started with a sketch that was meant to be a, what you call it? Okay. Okay. Alright, so let's back up. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Okay, and now we unfold, which was here. Yeah, create flat pattern. Huh? This is split, right? Oh, wait, no. It wasn't create flat pattern. There's actually an unfold button. Isn't there? Isn't there an unfold button? Or am I going crazy? Huh. Oh, unfold. There we go. Okay, or not. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So again, on break, just to remind us how we got here. I know that I really quick scrubbed the video and saw them doing it with sheet metal, and I was like, okay, I know how to do sheet metal. So I was like, no big deal. I'll just hop in here and do this, and I'm pretty sure I understand where they went with this, and obviously I did not actually watch the video, so I'm obviously missing something. Let's see. Fusion 360. Where is the video that I watched? Or scrubbed, I should say, because again, obviously I didn't watch it. Otherwise, I'd know what I'm doing right now. And of course, it's not going to show up here because...
Imagine you could design...
Stop it. Because I didn't watch it. Because it's giving me, rather I should say, recommendations based on this random stream account and not my personal account. So it's going to give me different results. Yeah, I am not recognizing these videos. Let me, on my phone, pull up my view history and do it that way. View all. And start scrolling, I guess, because lunch was a long time ago at this point. Oh no, I didn't even watch it. I watched it on the shoot me. I watched it on the work computer. I didn't even watch it on my phone. Good bunch of men. All right. Let's see. Yeah, see, I'm pretty sure I just did maybe let's try that. Is this it? Mute tab. I think this is it. Okay. So how'd we get here? We got our sketch. Put the notch in, sure. Extrude it up, sure. Oh, he is using the unfold button. No. No, wait. Is he faking me out? Alright, dude. Go a little bit faster here. Alright, no, it is unfold. Okay, no, it's not. I lied. He's having the same exact problem I'm having. Huh? Oh, okay, that is weird. Okay. That is very strange. So, come in here, create a reference to unfold off of, evidently. And that minus 0.1, or I guess plus 0.1. Okay, so, and then use that reference plane right there to unfold off of. Unfold. Or not unfold. Create flat pattern. Okay, never mind. Unfold. Huh. What is... How come it's working for... What? Hold on, back up. He grabs, he extrudes. Yeah. It is join. And hit OK. Okay, that's what I did, but he has an extra crease. And I don't. So why? Is it because I extruded this up? Hold on. Well, actually, I'll do this first. I will attempt to redo it. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's back up just a hair. Yeah. Go quicker, dude. Extrude. Yep. Join. No, okay, never mind. He is just extruding exactly like I am. So, I'm not extruding as much, I'll admit, because I didn't leave myself as much space. Let me hop back here then to the sketch. And we'll pop this open a little bit more, 2 degrees. And then hop in here. 0.5 is what he did. Yeah, but see, he's getting this whole extra seam, which I'm not getting. Why? Yeah, see, he can select this face right here to unfold off of. And I can't. My only assumption is that it's because I did this extra extrude. So let's come back here. 0.5 just like he did. No, alright, never mind. Still not getting the seam. So this is from 4 years ago. This video I'm watching. It looks like maybe this is patched out. What happens if I do that? No, never mind. That was not useful. Yeah, see, I don't have a bend because the whole entire thing is bend. Okay, come back here. One last thing I'm going to attempt here before giving up is do this. Whoops, that is stop. There we go. That. Just grab something that looks like it's going to work. Try to see the top more easily. Okay, there. Extrude. Oops, not that. That. To object. That. Okay, never mind. Let us come here. Minus 0.5. Okay. Extrude. Turn the first one off. I'm trying to get a different angle in order to give me that seam that the guy in the video is getting. Okay, and I'm just not getting it. Even when I change this angle, it's still not giving me the seam on the top. And without the seam on the top, it looks like I'm not going to be able to unfold this. So, let's do one last search. Fusion, unfold, curved, sheet metal. Pop this open, give it a quick look, mute. All right, yeah, he extrudes. Nah, see, he's doing, so this one's from 2019, so that's 4 years ago as well. So both of those tutorials look to be outdated. It looks like you, again, because as far as I can tell, I'm doing the same exact thing. I mean, here, this one's from 2020, so it's not really that much newer. What is this? Yeah, see, everybody just does the extrusion exactly like I'm doing, but they get an extra seam in here. And I'm lost at that point. So this last guy that I just watched, he even did 0.002. All right. Did an extrusion that big. And basically from this point right here, to this point right here, to that one, there's a seam. There's an extra seam, and it seems to me, as best as I can tell, that that's the only reason why the unfold works. So, closing all these other videos. As far as I can tell, we are stuck, and we're not going to be able to do the sheet metal unfold trick in order to try to get this to work. So, because I can't select that. Oh, that's interesting. So, I hope you don't hear that coming up through the mic. We are getting snow right now. And evidently, it's snowing bad enough, I guess, that they're actually plowing already. We were only supposed to get a couple inches. Well, I mean, one of those things. It was 2 to 4, but the 2 to 4 I didn't think was over just tonight. I was pretty sure it was going through tomorrow. So I'm kind of surprised to already hear the snowplows going. Okay, so at this point, let's just Control Z a whole bunch. Clear out of history. At this point, I really... Oh no. Control Y. Okay, cool. I'll just delete all this. Finish. Delete that sketch. So I had to keep the rest of that because we had to fix our holes. So, let us do this the other way then. -3. Defaulting to the way I would prefer not to do it, but we are stuck now. So, I'm going to have to live with it. Only question is, there's a couple different ways I was thinking about doing this, going this direction. I don't think, we'll see what happens. All right, I'll grab that guy, and I also want the outside. Okay. So we got the center line and the outside. That's good. Turn the body off. Turn that sketch off. And now we can toss this in here. This in here. The thickness of this guy. Well, actually, you know what? We wouldn't be going this way anyway. So. Let me back up a second. So here's our outside ring. Okay. I'm going to call this 4 millimeters, I think, because I'm changing my mind on how I want to do this. We then need... Let's see. Yeah. That does make it a little bit more difficult. A little bit more complicated. I guess what we'll be doing then. So, when I had this spiral, and you can kind of see it, because it's all one piece, right? I don't have to worry about overhang. Well, I don't quote unquote need to worry about overhangs because it's just one curve going upwards, and that curve should be enough for the overhangs. And also because it's all one piece, I don't need to worry about, fitting it together. At this point, I'm going to have a gap going all the way around because the knob needs to go all the way around in order to push the reamers up. So because it goes all the way around on the same plane, it's going to be cutting the model and leaving this big old gap. So what I was just humming and hawing to myself is, I guess this means that I'm going to be assembling it in two parts, printing it in two parts, in order to accommodate that. So just like on camera, there we go. So just like on this guy, we're going to have, you can just imagine that there's going to be a rim going around here, lining up with the center point of all this guys. So this will be a gap right here, and then I'll have a bottom that just goes on. That also makes it a little bit easier to attach the or to put the ring on, to slide the ring onto it, which is nice, a nice little bonus. I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to go about that. I figured I'd figure something out, and this is where we're at now. So yep, so we'll have a bottom cap, the ring will slide on, we'll have the bottom cap, and then that will be that. So back to Fusion, please. Thank you. All right, cool. Okie dokie. So again, basically, whatever we decide this guy needs to be, it will be. I kind of want it going as deep as the 12mm, but it doesn't really need to be. We do have that problem with the 3mm, as I stated before. So actually, you know what? The other option there is I can use a 2mm and go from there. Is there any other options? So let's hop back to the camera really quick, just so I can draw as I'm thinking through this. So our problem right now is that anything we use to push the 3mm up will leave a gap for the 3mm to fall down into. With the curve, that's not as big of a deal, because if the 3mm falls down into the curve, right, then it's not going anywhere because it can't to follow the curve. So that was one of the major benefits of having the curved version. Since we can't achieve the curved version, we're going to have just a shaft underneath it to come up and push this up and out. So because we have a shaft, that means that the 3mm can now drop down through that shaft. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have our ring. So this is top-down view, top-down. That's our case. We're going to have this ring right here that goes around, and it's going to have the tab going in towards the center line, as previously discussed. And I'm thinking maybe if we toss a 2mm bolt as a point right there, and this will be our side view. So there's our 2mm. And then we have plastic coming all the way out here. And here's the outside of the case. And the bottom. So it would look something like that. So therefore, our 3mm would be sitting right here. Relatively speaking, in theory, we've got a gap right here, right? This isn't actually this, but our 3mm is right there. And it's bigger than the 2mm gap that this 2mm bolt needs. Again, not ideal, but it does solve that problem of it falling through. And just to demonstrate, in case you were not following my hand gestures earlier, a few seconds ago, when this was a curve, okay, when we had the curve right here going around the cylinder, the 3mm bolt would fall into the curve, but because it's inside of its shaft right here, it couldn't fall. There's its shaft. it was stuck and couldn't shimmy side to side in order to follow down the shaft like this. It needed to cant, but it can't because it's inside of its little holder. So that's why it worked before, and I wasn't that worried about it. Unfortunately, again, having trouble getting that curve into real life. So we are going to have to figure out other ways to solve the new problems we have because we aren't using that method. So that is where we're at. And in that case, since the 2mm bolt is the idea right now, at that point we can just pretend like that's right there. 2mm. Give ourselves a little bit of wall to hold the bolt. I'm pretty sure the 2mm bolt head is not more than 8mm in diameter, so we're fine. It will fit inside of this offset that I'm giving us. And that gives us the cutout that we need. Leave that one there and finish. So, turn the case on. At this point, actually, we should come back here, remove this 3mm right here. Double check that everything looks good. And it does. And then, how did you get here? Oh, that's right. I put that there. Actually, you know what? Since I already did that, we are actually, whoops, Control Y. All right. We are going to go ahead and leave that 3mm on the bottom then, since I already have the plane here. So at that point, because I have the plane, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the split button, that body from that plane. Okay. And we'll just move that to a new, new component. Bottom cap. All right. Turn it off for the time being. And this minus thickness, disk thickness. So there's that. And in theory, from here, inspect to here should be 146, and it is. All right, cool. So nothing has gone wrong so far. That is that. And then, do I need to worry about anything else just yet? I don't think so. So let us go ahead and extrude out the ring. So sketch off of that plane. Let's go ahead and project out that sketch that I was using before because I already had that there. Okay, and I guess I will also grab that guy right there because that is the bolt hole that I will be using. Just turn that sketch off. Again, made allowances for 3mm. And then we just connect this up. Can't do Quinky Dink again. There we go. And we extrude that out. By thickness. There's the ring, and then actually I will go ahead and toss in 2mm. Let's see. 2mm bolts. Yep, 2mm bolts. And actually, you know what? I should have this already saved, shouldn't I? Fasteners. You can do it, Fusion. Fasteners. Finish. Come to back. M2 by 8 pan head. That's all I need. Oh, I've never saved. Okay. Don't save in fasteners. Save in miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. Reamer case. And insert. Yes. Okay. Okay, that is before my sketch. Good. Good. Alright, come back in here. It's funny that... Why doesn't that look like 2 millimeters? Heck, it's a little under 2 millimeters even. Huh. Funny that this circle to me looks smaller than this circle right here. Anywho, toss this circle in, change parameters. Let's see, head diameter and head thickness is what I need. Head diameter, finish, extrude, sketch, that. From object that minus head diameter. So I am hesitating here because it occurs to me, let me get this in here and then I will elucidate. We will need to adjust at this point because I'm using this. Because right now, this ring is the wrong direction. Okay. You extrude the wrong direction. There's that. And wait, you. All right, cool. There we go. This ring is butt up against the 12 millimeter reamer, which was intended. That was what I was intending originally because in theory this rolls around and it's right underneath, and then I create the slot to go up. That was the next thing to happen, was to create the slots to lift the ring up with. The problem is that we now have this bolt sticking out of the top. So I need to make a quick decision whether or not I wanted that 5 millimeter thickness to hold the bolt in place, which I kind of do. I also need to add the hex nut, don't I? M2 hex nut? M2 hex nut. Okay, we will scroll backwards a little bit because the alternative is to glue it in there to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I could attempt to thread it in. Actually, yeah, let's just do that. I am willing to... Am I? Yeah, it's really a shame because the only reason I'm having this problem is because of the size of everything. You know, had I just had a 3 millimeter tab right here, then the 3 millimeter one is the only one I'm worried about at that point. So it wouldn't be a problem. I want to add the 2 millimeter nut just to make sure that this thing doesn't slide back out. I could, however, lock it in there somehow, some other way, so thread it in and either include thread lock or put some hot glue or something like that over the cap on the bottom, over the head, to make sure it doesn't back out. That is an option. One way or another, though, I do need to increase the height of it by however much I'm pushing these reamers out by in order to grab them. And I want to suggest that that's like going to need to be a minimum of 6 millimeters. Which means that we are making this 6 millimeters taller just because I'm using the bolt is the problem, is my complaint here. If I wasn't using the bolt, then it wouldn't be a problem because the tab here that I'm making could be, you know, small enough for everything except for the 3 millimeter reamer. So. What considerations do we have for this? Yeah, alright. You know what? I have just decided that the only consideration is not to cry too hard about it. Just make the change and live with the consequences. So, this will be plus 6 millimeters. Okay. All my cuts are made from the top side, so that's not going... No, what are you doing? 6 Reamer. 6 millimeter. All my cuts are going to be from the top side, so that doesn't necessarily matter. At that point, this guy... Not that guy. Yeah, that guy. That should be the correct guy. No, I'm not in ring. I need to be in ring. That guy. No. No, I did want the other guy because I used this guy to do the cutout. So at this point, we can put a channel in here and cut this channel out as well. That is where I was going with this. Okay, finish. And then back over here to ring. Extrude out. Actually, I guess I didn't need to put it over there. I could have put it the other place. No. No, I'm just going crazy. That's fine. That is fine. Come back here. Go there. And extrude this from object. That minus 6 millimeters. Okay. Okay. So the bolt sits in that guy right there and spins around. And then at each of the at each of these bolt sections, we put a slot in order for it to travel up. It is now occurring to me that we do not have enough space, which is unfortunate. We are going to start by coming back in here and making this smaller. Not in here. Coming over here and making this smaller. So that is only going to be 2 millimeters at this point. And this offset now is 1 millimeter, but I'm going to just cry about it. So now this is 6 millimeters. If I project this out, let's see if that will fit. I was pretty sure the 8 millimeters that we had before was not going to fit, but actually I guess I take from the center here to make sure that we are going perpendicular. Alright, so there's that. This needs to be perpendicular as previously stated. Going centered through there. And let's see, 8 millimeters. My guess was that 8 millimeters wasn't going to fit. Yeah. Because I still need the walls on this side. So let's look at 6 millimeters really quick. And toss this guy in here. Perpendicular. That goes quick-dick on that guy. That goes centered on that guy. And that is equal to that. Alright, so that gets very close. This is not the extent. This actually, we need to draw no, that is the closest. Yes, that is the closest because this gets further away here. Okay, so at that close, right? This isn't closer right here than it is here, is it? It might be. It might be closer. Actually, let us hit the inspect button and see what the minimum distance is. Yeah, so that is a 0.5 millimeter wall thickness at the minimum. Which is closer than I would like. Point being. So, at that point, if I add, or if I increase rather, and this is why I probably should have done this like this to begin with, or otherwise hit the equals button. That was the other way to do this. Okay, and now if we look at this sketch and take that inspect, I think that buys us 0.5 millimeter. That was the wrong one. No, that buys us a full millimeter. Yeah, because I was doing by the wall as a radius offset, not as a diameter offset. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so that does give us the full 1.5 millimeters, which I will be content with because that's only at the minimum point. And that will be, you know, minimum 2 wall thicknesses, 2 filament thicknesses wide, minimum. At least for my printer. My printer, again, is running at a 0.6. So it's 0.6 and 0.6 is 0.2. For a 0.4 millimeter, if you're still running that for whatever reason, that would be 3, 4. It'd be close to 4 walls. So that would be fine. At least acceptable. So, I kind of don't want to leave those right there. So I'm just going to cry a little bit about it. And hit Control Z a whole bunch. Okay, Control Y. Come back up here. Start crying again. Fix this. Where is it? There it is. Kind of curious how much larger that makes the outside here. Where are we at right now? All right, 57, so just 2 inches. So this is still very small. It's about, you know what, actually. So it's pretty darn close to the drill bit container, it looks like, which is real interesting. And it's going to be larger than the drill bit container in that case as soon as I put this ring on. So, That is interesting. Do I just have too much crap in the way right now? Huh. Alright, well, let's see. Yeah, there's actually, we should be good right now with the ring. I think the only thing I'm going to do is, I was thinking about this earlier, and I think I actually want this like more substantial. So, let's go minus, we're at 5 right now, right? So minus 19. Let's make it a full inch. So now we've got kind of this cup-shaped thing right here. You know, it's kind of a sleeve rather than a ring. It was my idea. And then just need to toss some print offsets in here. Do I need one around here? I don't think so. Do need that one. Actually, you know what? Should probably put that in there too. So minus 0.3 to give ourselves plenty of space. I'm gonna leave the head tight, I think, just to be on the safe side. And the last thing we'll do while we're in this object, I'm just gonna go ahead and line that up to get it into place. What sketch is in my way right now? Bottom cap. What sketch is in my... Oh, it's a body. It's not a sketch. That's why. Alright, cool. So get that lined up with that, just for presentation purposes. Okay, capture position. And we can go ahead and also A, make a joint, and B, give it color. Plastic. Yellow is what I'm feeling right now. And give it a joint. Rigid group. Don't do body, or don't do children, just in case. Alright, so that is that. So, now we come back to the case and modify the case. Body. Actually, I don't need the body. We'll just come in here. Plane. Project. Will that work? Yeah, that will work. Okay. Turn the body back off. Turn the ring off. Grab that. And actually leave that one up. Now we just start tossing in 2mm clearances. And then we toss in the slots, and then we make the extrusions, and then we just need to do the cap and the bottom cap. Bottom cap will just get a couple of bolts into it, and the top cap, yeah, I'll do a print offset. Actually, you know what? I don't feel like doing a print offset, so we'll just make it bigger. 2.2. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna do equals this time. In case I did not finish that thought, the bottom cap is just gonna get a couple of bolts in it to keep it held into position. I'll use threaded inserts just like I did on the on the drill bit case. And then for the top cap, again, we're probably just going to default to a threaded cap. Keep things simple. Doesn't require extra hardware and doesn't, you know, run any risks of coming loose in a practical sense. So, okay. So, this guy ring. This stuff, actually, I'm going to have to come all the way up to the top level. This sketch should be before the offsets, because what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to just grab this. That is the easiest way of doing this. Body, and I can delete this one, and yeah, these aren't circle patterned out, so I can't circle pattern out the rest of it. So we just draw in circles and make the slots by hand. So there's that. Make all these guys equal to that guy. Ooh, that is not equals. That was tangent. Equal, equal, equal. Feel like there should be an easier way to do this, but just for academic purposes, considering. So I could set up a plane, mirror across the plane. Plane would have to end up dead perpendicular or dead center of each of these holes in order for that to work. But in theory, that would work. So I'd trade a whole bunch of sketches of circles and slots for a whole bunch of planes that I then would mirror across. Yeah, so I'd have to do a plane directly between these two, and then either directly between these two or directly between these two, depending on how I wanted to mirror. As you can see, this isn't dead center across the center either, which means that I have to do that individually all the way around. I can't like just do half of them and then mirror the other half over to the other side. I'm trying to figure out what would be more work, because I can do plane through line. So I could just draw the line, or actually this first sketch even has the line, so I could just use these lines. So I'd have to bisect them, right? I'd have to bisect each of these lines, actually. Bisect the arc, rather, is what I should say. I'd have to bisect the arc that's created between these two lines, which is a little bit more work. So would it be worth it? Would it be worth it to do it that way instead of drawing all of this stuff in right now? That is a question. The other thing is I actually do have to throw all these lines in order for this to work, because I need a reference to keep the slots parallel to. So yeah, it may actually have been worth throwing a whole bunch of extra planes in order to give myself reference to mirror the features around. The other option is to get the angle that each of these guys are at and then do the circular pattern, but do a partial circular pattern instead of a full circular pattern, and only one copy, or two copies, only two copies, and then just do that over and over and over again. So those are two alternative ways of doing what I'm doing right now. Again, for academic purposes. Which way is actually the most convenient, I'm not entirely sure on. The fact of the matter is that I shouldn't have to change anything on this sketch in any of those situations if I make other changes to the ring itself. I don't believe so, because all the lines I'm drawing right now are based off of other things. I'm not drawing anything here with its own dimension. So because I'm not drawing anything here with its own dimension, there aren't any dimensions that would have to be manually updated. Everything is just, again, relative to some other feature that already exists somewhere else. So, well, Fusion double line. Almost made it. We're almost done. Almost made it through a full episode without a Fusion double line. Full stream, whatever. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, there we go. I am getting kind of excited to look out the window because this is the 5th time I've heard the plow trucks going. I am half tempted to call out of work tomorrow. Because fact of the matter is that I have a little plastic Asian car. And I am not terribly enthusiastic about driving in it in the snow. 2 years ago, we did not get that much snow last year. 2 years ago, I actually wrecked my previous car in the snow. Slid backwards off an embankment and went into a river, or a creek. I'm going to call it a creek rather than a river. That was kind of fun, honestly. Like, it was an interesting experience. Wasn't terribly fun having to buy a new car, but was definitely an experience. Definitely something that I could say happened. Okay, there we go. Anything else I need? I don't think so. So, finish sketch, extrude, and then get rid of the center portion. And we just need to, from here, go -6. And hit OK. And then, that's funny. Maybe I should avoid that right there. We don't have a good reason to have that lip to begin with. So I think I will. Oops, that is not what I meant to click. There we go. So, this guy. Come out here. Go 2 millimeters right here. And then tangent right there. And finish. Okay. And honestly, at that point, you know what? I think I'm okay with that, though. Actually, the way I did this to begin with isn't even correct. So the reason I was kind of okay with that is because it is stopping the 12 millimeter, from coming down. In theory, I believe the 12 millimeter. Oh, we can look at it. Bottom, please. Thank you. Okay, no, never mind. Even if I did get rid of that edge, the 12 millimeter would still be stopped by this center portion right here. So I guess I will go ahead and just delete that ring altogether, and we will. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. So, oh no, there's my 2-inch offset right there. Never mind. Or 2 millimeter, rather. Okay. Oh. Okay. I see what's going on here. Control Z a whole bunch. I misunderstood what that guy was looking at. So, I made a mistake right there. So this inside track is where we're at right here. This is where we're right there. Actually, you know what? No. I think I will go back to previous plan. Actually, let's stop right here. And I'll just delete that and that. And as previously discussed, just leave that Yeah, so it still catches a 12 millimeter by a little bit as previously discussed. So these guys, I can't actually do these all at the same time. I realized this first extrusion works for the 12 millimeter, but everything else is going to need its own custom extrusion. So let's get to doing that. So here's the 12 millimeter, and then we're going this way. So this guy. So we need to go use this to object the bottom of this guy, and then add my 6 millimeters from here. Other direction. 6 millimeters that way. No, actually, I don't even need my 6 millimeters, do I? No, I don't. Not if I leave the... Not if I make sure that the bolt is 6 millimeters. Okay, cut 0. There we go. And make sure we grab the center part there too. Yeah, so basically the ring will stop right here, which is dead bottom of this reamer. But because we added the bolt will actually push the reamer up the extra 6 millimeters. Again, so long as the so long as the bolt is 6 millimeters. And I was gonna say we could actually make that taller. We could adjust the bolt, but we can't really, because again, the inside track here that I had originally for the bolt to move around while it was at the very bottom would also have to go deeper. Is that big of a deal? Yes it is. Yes it is, because we had to move the whole entire thing up 6 millimeters in order for it to pass underneath the 12 millimeter. So yes, okay. Cool. Good talk, guys. Good talk. Where were we? So, at this point, though, I know that all I have to do is just go to each hole. I don't have to add any numbers, which is nice. To object the bottom of that and hit OK. And we'll hang out up here. It is a little difficult, but I will cry about it. It is only difficult if I... How did I end up with 2 bodies? Slow up. Slow up. Where's my extra body coming from? Oh. How did you get there? What happened? Oh, I see what happened. Okay. That is correct. It's this guy. That guy is selecting the wrong thing. So let's unselect that. No, wait. Unselect the other one. Stop it. Give me that. That is the one I want. Deselect the profiles. There we go. And then I want that. Okay. There we are. Yes. Yes. Okay, good. Carry on. Turn the body off. Grab all this guy. To object that guy. Also continuing our discussion of, is there a better way of doing this? I don't think so. For this one, I don't think I could set anything up for this one, because each of these are going to different depths or heights depending on how you're looking at it. So therefore, I don't think any sort of circular pattern or mirroring would help in this situation. For the record, again, for academic purposes. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I just realized that we also need a bottom wall as well. Not fun. So all of these guys up until this point had a little bit of wall already, so they're not falling down. And the reason I didn't think about this before is because, again, I was only going to extrude up a certain distance, and then I was figuring that the bolt would just go through and push, so I was only going to have the 2mm extrusion going through the bottom. And then I realized, as previously discussed, that, oh, wait a second, the whole entire thing goes up to the bottom, which is what I've been doing here. However, that does mean that it has a chance to fall through for the smaller ones, which means that we actually can't do directly 2. We do have to do a minus 3mm offset, and on top of that, we have to do an extra 3mm on height in order to make that work. Although, to be fair, for these other guys, maybe we don't need to worry about that. For the small guys, the last 4, for these last 4, if I just put a wall in there, can we get away with that? Is the question. Can I get away with just putting the wall in? So in other words, do this minus 3. Okay. And then distance all. Flipperooski. Alright, so that solves our problem, right? That does solve our problem. However, that does mean that our bolt is only pushing it up 3mm, which is not enough. So our bolt actually needs to be sticking out 9mm one way or another at that point. So back to this guy. Not that guy. Back to this guy. Nope, it's the very first one. I know what I'm doing. So this is our 6mm that we had for the bolt to push the thing out, but we actually need 9mm because it's 6mm plus the 3mm wall that the bolt gets consumed by on the smaller guys. For all these other guys, as previously stated, that actually doesn't change anything. So we should be good at this point. Now, I am also curious how tall we are. 155. And the case, the drill bit case is, and again, I'm just measuring the body, I'm not measuring the bottom cover, 135-ish, a little bit more than that. So this is officially taller than the drill bit case. The next question is, if I pop out the 12mm drill bit and compare it to the 12mm Reamer, yeah, okay. So back to the camera just so that we can see what we're talking about. So I was a little concerned that the design that we had going on here was getting larger than it needed to be, but as you can see here, the I'll just put it on the table. The Reamer is actually, the 12mm Reamer is actually a good bit bigger than the 12mm drill bit. So try to do this so that they're actually lined up. So it should be expected that it should be a little bit taller. This exact height is looks to be something like 15-ish millimeters. So 155 plus. Oh no, 155 is the other one. So 155 minus 15 is 140. And over here, we are at 135. So the other case, the new case, the Reamer case, does have, it looks like 5 millimeters of fluff, 5 millimeters of something, taking up more space than this previous design. I'm just going to cry about that one. There's really no reason to get serious about it. Not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. And -3. Okay. Distance all. Lipperski. Dun, 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 dun. And last one. To object. There. -3. Okay. Extrude. Distance all. And we are done with the majority of it. Now we just need to do the caps. Whoops. I meant to turn off the sketch. There we go. Why do I have a hole right here? Or why don't I have a hole, rather, is what I meant to say. Oh, right. Because I just did a distance here instead of a 2. Because I knew what number I was working with to begin with. Alright, cool. Cool. We have an offset on the actual peg itself, so we don't need to do an offset on this. Right. Do I do an offset on the inside of these holes? Yes or no? Also, should this guy be included? What is my distance here? Well, that's very small right there, but what's my maximum distance? They should be concentric. Yeah, distance. Oh, I guess 0.5 is the... Yeah, because they're concentric, the 0.5 is just that offset. So it's only a half a millimeter lip, so maybe that one should also be a -3 millimeter. And in that case, we need to also extrude distance all. Okay. Didn't get lost, right? We got the right one. Looks like it. Yes. Okay. The other guy should be fine. So anyway, back to the previous question. And the only reason that I stopped there is because if I am going to put a wall offset in here, that one would be the one mostly affected. And I think I will, just to be on the safe side. And I probably also, so I did 0.3 here. Maybe we don't be so aggressive. I maybe also should do these holes as well. These 2mm holes. They're a bit hard to get to. Just to make sure that the bolt itself doesn't bind up. Fact of the matter is that there is going to be a little bit of play in the bottom, in the ring portion, because I've already introduced that, which means that the bolt is not guaranteed to be dead center of these guys. So, good to introduce that. A little bit of offset. Now for the bottom. Okie dokies. Bottom cap. Come down here. We'll go ahead and just do this sketch down here to keep it separate. Turn you off. Oh, use that plane, rather. Project. Turn you off. There we go. And then do that, do that. Turn the body off. Just toss, as I believe I mentioned before, a pair of bolts in here to hold it on. I don't think it needs anything more than a pair of bolts. We can talk about it really quick. Okay, you know what? It's probably not an issue, but not having at least 3 bolts does give it the opportunity to rock left and right. Up and down left on the left and right hand side right here, right? So I guess I will go ahead and do 3 bolts, in which case we'll just do 1 for right now, and then fusion double line. And we'll go ahead and continue using a 2mm bolt since we already have those guys out. And more importantly, incorporated head diameter in our parameters. And this distance we'll just call 6mm. Maybe we go all the way out. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's go all the way out. 3mm and tangent there. Finish. As opposed to Swedish. Profile. Distance all. Only got that sketch, that's good. Sketch the head from object minus head thickness. Toss in our offsets. And I didn't do the recess on the other one. Actually, we'll just go 0.05. I didn't really think it was necessary. I did mention that at the time. Actually, yeah. You know what? I'll do 2 separate circle patterns. One for the bottom here and the other for features. And the other for the holes that match it in the case itself. There's the 3 that I was talking about, so that's good. Now we go ahead and hop back up into case. Grab that right there. Turn this off right here. Turn that on. -10, let's say. Let's see if that actually pierces through. It doesn't look like it does. I'm curious how close that gets to piercing through. Inspect. Actually, that might be outside. It's kind of catty corner. Okay, so we still have 4mm of space before we can get there. Alright, cool. Good to know, good to know. And all that needs is a circle pattern. So I took for granted that those circle patterns would line up, but I actually don't know that it will guarantee. It looks to have this time, but I don't know if that's actually guaranteed. So let us delete that, slide this guy out, and then grab that guy as well, just to make sure they line up. Now we should be guaranteed that they line up, no matter what. All right, some colors. Let's grab pink and brick red. All right, and now for the screw-on cap. Easiest part, don't need to think. We can go ahead and start by doing this, -10. How long did I do the threads on this other one? Because this other one has a decent, like, I don't mind this one. Yeah, it looks like I probably did 10 millimeters. And then I add the little extra lip on the bottom for printability. So, we'll do this like we did the other one, as previously discussed. Lid. Actually, come back up here first. Shouldn't have done that yet. Should not have done that. Split, body, that guy, okay. Toss our threads on. Okay. Modeled. Okay. Make it coarser, or not coarser, but more fine. Okay. Come up here. We can rejoin these first before I do that. Okay, now come up here like I was talking about. Let's do it from the front. Oh, actually, these threads do not stick out past. Do they? Hold on. Sanity check. Okay, it looks like they do. All right. From the front. That is right. Front. Can I see that sticking out? I can. No, I can't see the side though that's on the bottom sticking out. That is actually in the back. So, let's change perspective here. Oh, no. Control Z here. All right. Change perspective to the right. That is not the right. And now I can see this. Yes, now I can see that sticking out the side. So, intersect. Body. Okay. And toss that guy in there. .45 is fine. Hit OK. Hit revolve. That guy. Again, just doing exactly the same exact way we did it the other way. Would be better to make sure that I had the exact... Yeah, it looks like I got it. Okay. I was going to say, have the exact furthest out point, because obviously the thread gets further in. But I think we're good. Alright, cool. Now. That sketch ended up in the wrong place because I'm bad. Not going to worry about it. Use that's construction line. Project out this body right here. Make sure we have the smallest body, that way we have the same, or we're more likely at any rate to have the same threads. The same way I don't goof something up. Tangent. Let's go 5. Finish. Turn you on. Distance to object. Okay. And then extrude the rest of it. Distance to object. Oh no, not distance to object. From object. There we go. From object. Distance. I guess I'll do 5. We'll make it nice and chonky. And then we go ahead and toss the threads in. Threads. There we go. That doesn't look like the right threads. Let's hit OK really quick and hop back over here. Case. We had 58 by 2s. Lid. 58. 58 by 2s. And we do want this modeled. Okay. And I think I'm going to put the offset on this guy. Minus 0.2. Let's go new offset just in case. I haven't. I normally always set it to new offset. I just realized I haven't done that at all this stream. Interesting. One thing I do want to check, because again, this lid is working very well over here on the drill bit container. I want to just see what offsets I used for that. Where's the drill bit container? There it is. All right. There's that, there's that. So this is the offset on the threads. 0.5, okay. We'll go with 0.5. Don't save. Okay, I accept. Last quick thought, and it looks like I'm alright, but just to say it out loud, is that ring should double check to make sure that actually fits. Going all the way up. So, let us align. Where is? I guess I'll turn off the body to find it. Align that with the highest point here, which is that. I think that's right. And we do have extra space up here. That's the only thing I want. No, that's obviously not right. I must click the wrong face. Guess is I clicked the wrong face. Oh, actually, real guess is that it didn't spin to line up. Yeah, there it is over there. But we do have plenty of space in here. That was the last question, was whether or not we had enough space right here. So that would be that. Closing thoughts. Well, first off, I will say that looks like it should work. I mean, it's not too much different from some of the other stuff I made. I can't think of anything that could go wrong with it. This should be sturdy enough in between here. I'm just looking at the distances between each of these things. So it's one of those things. Those are quote unquote weaker, but I don't think they're going to actually be structurally a problem, especially because they're all connected on the center, have a connecting wall. So probably not that big of a deal. Again, should work. Don't see any reason, I don't think, why it shouldn't. I'm just trying to figure out what sketch I have open right now. Where you at? Bottom cap. There we go. Would have really liked to have done it the way with curve all the way around. However, could not figure out a way to get that actually modeled in there, unfortunately. So, this is what we've got now. If at some point in the future I do figure out a good way to get that modeled in, then we may come back here and revisit this, or I'll do that off stream. I'll probably just do that off stream because it should just be a quick modification in theory. So probably not something we'll do on stream. Otherwise, one of those things, I'll get this printed out. I have stuff for videos assembled. I just got to do voiceovers. It's one of those things. I've been a bit busy, but I was able to record some video for shorts. We've done a lot of stuff that I realized doesn't make very much sense for a longer video, but does make sense as short content. So I'll just go ahead and do those shorts, get them out of the way, and then go back to working on the longer content. And at some point, we will get time to do other stuff. As for design streams, I do have... Let me go ahead and pull... come back here. No, we lost it. All right, there it is. For design streams, the next design stream that I would do would be a case for these guys. I got myself... Let me just grab it. Cute little desktop vise. It's one of these deals where I keep on running into the situation where I really wish I had a little vise right here to put stuff in to work on it. So I went ahead and got myself one. So now that I have this cute little desktop vise, came with this extra jaws and stuff. So next stream should be a pretty simple stream, making a little case for these guys. Next design stream at any rate. If I decide to do video games instead, then we'll do video games, but the next design stream will just be a cute little case for these guys to go into. Just a couple of soft jaws, rubber jaws, extra, what do you call these? Like miscellaneous jaws. It has a couple of grooves in it to hold round objects at different angles. And then also has these pegs that go into the top of it. So it's kind of like this miscellaneous jaws thing here. It's interesting because it's magnetic, which is kind of interesting at first for stuff that you're clamping between it, but doesn't make any sense for the pegs. If I was using this with the pegs, then I'd still have to bolt it, which it has bolt holes through. So sure, that works. But the only situation where you can get away with using this with the magnets is when you're just holding round stock in either straight up and down or at an angle here, which I don't know, maybe it's just my use case does not seem terribly often, but may just might be my experience. So yeah, anyway, that is that. I've, along with the videos, the shorts, getting that material, since I was doing it at the same time anyway, I also got printable pages set up for a couple of those shorts. Again, just getting the material together for the video made sense to make the printable page at the same time. So those will go live at the same exact time as the short goes live. So you can look forward to those in case you're keeping tabs on printables. And yeah, that's basically it. So, as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great and wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will catch you next time.